Let us take a look at the story. Robin Hood gets Allin-A married. Sometimes you need the help of a powerful man to get your work completed. Thus, you must have a few powerful friends with you at all times. They can help you when you need help. Have you ever helped a friend or a stranger when they needed it? Try to help your friends without expecting anything from them. Hundreds of years ago, there lived a rude but bold man named Robin Hood. He was an outlaw and lived in the Sherwood forest. Outlaws were people who did things against the law. They had to then stay in the forest away from everybody to protect themselves. Robin Hood was one such person. There were a number of other outlaws also in that forest. Robin Hood was their leader. These men did not work for their living. They wore suits made of green and looted and plundered rich people who came to the forest. And because Robin Hood had a rule, they brought whatever they got from these people to him. He would then divide the goods equally among all. Robin Hood believed in equality. He also did not allow any of his men or women to loot from the poor. In fact, he always kept a share from what his men looted for the poor and sent it to them from time to time. This is why poor people loved Robin Hood while the rich hated him. The poor prayed for his long life and the rich wanted him dead. But he was brave and energetic and it was difficult to catch him. The poor loved him so much that they made many songs, stories and poems in his name, which were sung by every household in the villages he had helped, even long after he was dead. Here is a story from one such song. One day, Robin Hood was standing under a tree near the edge of the forest when he saw a young man walking on the road nearby. He had a spring in his step and was happily humming a song. He wore a suit of red silk and it seemed that he was going to attend a party. What a fine, happy man, thought Robin Hood. It looks like he is going for his wedding. Let me not trouble him today. I will wait till tomorrow and see what I can get from him. The next day, Robin Hood stood at the same place waiting for the man to return with his bride. But how surprised he was when he saw the same man return without the red silk coat. He was sad and there was grief in every step he took. He could also hear the man muttering to himself, "Today is a sad day, a very, very sad day," he kept repeating. Seeing this, Robin Hood stepped in front of the man and said, "Hey, young man, spare me some cash or some gold." "Who, me?" said the young man, looking around himself. When he realized that there was no one else and that Robin Hood was indeed talking to him, he shrugged his shoulders and said, "I have nothing to spare at all except for 5 shillings and a gold ring." "I see. Is it your wedding ring?" Robin Hood asked. "Yes," said the man. "So, why is it still with you?" Robin Hood said. "I saved up money for 7 years to make this ring to give it to my sweetheart whom I was to marry yesterday. But when I reached her house yesterday, I came to know that her father had promised her to a rich but old man for his money." "She has not even seen the old man," he groaned. And if I get you your fair maiden, what will you give me?" Robin Hood said, with a sly smile on his face. The young man smiled and said, "What can I give you? I have nothing to spare. But if you get my sweetheart for me, Then I promise to do whatever you say." Robin Hood laughed a merry laugh and asked the young man what his name was. He also took the other details and then whistled sharply. A few of his men who were hiding nearby came out. "Take Allin-A with you and dress him up, and meet me in an hour at the church 5 miles from here," he ordered his men and set off for the church. Robin Hood dressed up as a harper on the way and reached the church when the bishop was approaching it. Seeing him standing in the doorway, the bishop said, "Who are you?" "I am a harper and I wish to play some music," Robin Hood lied. "Good. There is a wedding in the church today but no music. Maybe you can play for the lucky couple," the bishop said, beckoning him inside. "I will play only after I have seen the bride and the groom," said Robin. Just then, an old man, bent with age, walking with difficulty towards the church. He had a young, fair and beautiful girl by his side. "Well then, look at the bride and the groom and start playing," said the bishop, waving his arm towards the old man and the young girl. When Robin Hood saw the two, he became very angry. "This is no match, and I refuse to play for them. I am sure that this old man is not someone that the bride chose for herself. She should be allowed to marry according to her will." Saying this, Robin Hood whistled sharply once again, and suddenly the church was surrounded by 40 men dressed in green and one man dressed in fine clothes. He looked at the girl and said, "Choose for yourself, young lady." The girl looked up and was surprised to see Allin-A among the men. "I choose Allin-A," she said, blushing. "So you shall have him," Robin Hood thundered. "And if anyone has a problem with the match, they can come and talk to me, Robin Hood." Nobody dared to challenge Robin Hood. The young girl and Allin-A were married, and the old man had to return to his home unmarried. Now that we've read the story, kids, let us take a look at the grammar skills. Types of verbs. There are mainly 2 types of verbs, finite verbs and non-finite verbs. We have already learned about finite verbs in the previous chapter. Non-finite verbs. A non-finite verb is the one ending with an ing or ed or its infinitive form. This does not have any tense in an independent clause. Types of non-finite verbs. There are 3 types of non-finite verbs. They are gerund, participle and infinitive. A gerund is a form of a verb that ends in ing and has the force of both a noun and a verb. A gerund is one of the 3 types of non-finite verbs. Let us take a look at the following examples. I like reading books. He is fond of playing badminton. Walking down the road, I noticed a beggar. The time of singing of the birds has come. In these sentences, the words reading, playing, walking and singing have been used as gerunds.